You know, obviously, with varying things that you need to do in gardening, the grass has obviously went through its period in the winter time, which has been a bit of a challenge, to say the least. It's still looking relatively healthy, but what you can see down here is there's some patches of soil profile that you can see, which the grass is kind of thinned out in this area. The problem is with a lot of this is that this land in this garden slopes down towards that way, and there's a lot of undulations in the grass. So you find that water will run off the edges of this lawn and down into the stones that are down here. But that can cause, you know, a myriad of problems, and you get thinning out naturally at this time of the year anyway, so through the winter time. So plans are, you know, there's various people out there on YouTube that do gardening videos in the UK and further afield that do their own thing, and you know, they pick their own journeys and their own opportunities. What I'm trying to do is just take it on my take of what I would like to see in the garden. Now, last year, this grass looked amazing from a distance, but when you looked up close and personal in certain areas, it was quite thin, and that was because the mix that I used here last year was a combination of a fescue, 20% fescue and 80% ryegrass. And that gave you loads and loads of top growth. And with the feeding regime that I did last year, the grass was just sensational, best it's ever looked in years here. And you know, doing a little bit of time and effort, it's worth it. So what I've decided to do is, rather than conform to the process and the pathways of what everyone else does, I've decided to go with something that's a little bit different. So if the camera follows me around, so what I'm going to do here is basically all of this area down here is going to be levelled. So the grass is all over the place in certain areas. So over here, it's there's a little valley down there. Over here, there's a little valley down here. So if I was to put a spirit level from just from this corner here across into that centre flower bed down there, you would find that there would be a big dip down in this area down here. So what we're going to try and do is, around here, we're going to try and introduce a lot of topsoil, probably a top dressing topsoil, a loamy mixture mixed with sand and some soil, and we're going to level that area out. We're going to level this area out, and then round the perimeter of the grass, we're going to build some temporary shuttering, and we're going to basically then build that up. Now, if you go into YouTube and you look for someone like Daniel Hibbert, or you look for Sean from Lawn Right, these guys are absolutely fantastic. They're lawn care professionals. I'm just a hobbyist. I'm not a pro. I've only really started gardening recently, but I've learned by watching. I've learned by what works for my garden might not work for someone else's garden. So when you're watching me, have a look and have a think about what it is that you want from your garden. So I want to try something a little bit different. Some people will try things like Barenberg, dwarf perennial ryegrass to get a nice tight knit grass that you can mow down to a reasonable level. You can mow that quite short. But what I've decided to try here is, rather than going for a pure dwarf perennial rye, I'm going to go for a mixed ryegrass. And I'm going to do it with a couple of things. So I'm going to do that with probably some Corsica, which is CSI Corsica, which is a nice creeping variety of ryegrass, and that's going to be a 40% mix. And the other variety I'm going to go for is a dwarf perennial ryegrass, one of which will be a cultivar that's good for spring and summer, and another one which is good for autumn and winter. So with that blend, I'll get some nice colour, some nice deep rooting grass. I'm going to go for a mixed pure perennial ryegrass mix with dwarf varieties and cultivars, as well as a creeping variety, which should help to fill in some of these blank spots that are down here. So there's a lot of blank here, bare ground, etc. So I'm going to try my combination, which for some doesn't work. I'm not saying this will work for everyone, but I'm going to scarify this out with a bladed scarifier, and then I'm going to do holotine aeration, and that aeration should help me with getting things into the soil, getting nutrients down into the soil, because this soil is covered underneath the surface, is covered with pebbles and various things. This used to be a riverbed, this area, many years ago, but we're left with the debris underneath. So introducing lots and lots of different soil and fresh nutrients can help with developing the soil profile. So first job, probably next week, is to I'm going to go to a local company in the UK called Travis Perkins, and I'm going to be hiring a Trackmaster Cayman scarifier as well as a holotine aeration, and I'm going to scarify this relatively well to thin it out and create some room for the new seeds to come through. And then I'm going to aerate it as well to help me get the new nutrients down into the soil. Now, there's lots and lots of people out there that will say that you can do gardening with any tools, light touch tools or etc. But when you've got a big lawn, and this is a big lawn around the back, I've got a lawn around the front that's going to be doing the same kind of process. I've got a sore back, I have back problems, and lawn levelling is a challenge. It's not an easy thing to do, so I want to put tools in place that will help me do that across the board. So hopefully with a combination of those factors, we should be able to see what we need out of it. So first and foremost, get the scarification done. It's about the right time to do it now, if we're being honest. The temperatures are coming up. Today it's lovely, it's probably about 15 degrees, so the grass has started growing, and I cut it yesterday at 25 mil. I'm probably going to take it down a little bit from here as well, and get it ready for seeding. So the process to do that is scarification, aeration, get the levelling done, get the seeding down, get some products down. So I'm going to be using again this year Daniel Hibbert's great products. Go and check him out, guys. I'll leave a link for the description. He's got a great YouTube channel. You can learn a lot from him. I've learned a lot from him, and as I said, this is my take on his instructions. But if you want to learn from the master, go and have a look at him. He transforms people's gardens into show pieces. It's really quite incredible, to be honest. But this is just my take on it as a hobbyist. This is the lawn kit for this year. So what do we have here? This guy here is an absolute triumph this year. Only got this yesterday, so I talked about it last year in some of my videos that I was going to be getting one of these. The time finally came that I could afford to have one, because it's not cheap. It's a pricey bit of kit, but like it says in everything that you ever buy, you get what you pay for. So this was my old lawnmower over here, which is the old Atco Balmoral, and this is a 17 SE, so it's a keyed start. It's a petrol lawnmower, and it has the same cartridge system in it down here. This is a 17-inch model. It vibrates you to hell. It's noisy, it pollutes, smells, takes a lot of maintenance to look after it, but it's been an absolute workhorse. And you have to go on a journey in lawn. You either start small or you jump in big if you've got the budget to do it, but most people don't. So this is what I started with in the journey. This is my dad's lawnmower actually, so this is kind of, like a generational thing. So this is Atco, and Allet as a company bought over the patents and the product set and integrated that into this machine over here. So in terms of where you are, this is like a car analogy probably. This is probably close to maybe like a C-class Merc, that type of thing. It's a really nice product. It does really well. If you look after it, it'll maintain itself for years and years to come. This has been heavily used, as you can see with the state of the blades at the front. This was getting used all year long last year. It was the workhorse to create the start of this channel, to give me the stripes that I really came to enjoy last year, and people coming around and going, wow, that's great. But there's things I don't like about it, as I said. It's noisy, polluting. Last year, in the middle of the grass season, the thing stopped working. The spark plug had an issue. I had to replace that. Replaced it, still didn't work. It turned out it was actually to do with the carburetor down here. So this had an issue and it needed to get fixed, but it was like 10 days out of the mix, and that caused problems because the grass got really long. By the time I came back to cut it, I nearly couldn't, because this lawnmower only goes up to about 35mm in cutting height, and the grass was really long. So I had to put down a growth regulator to slow the grass down while I got back under control. So issues with that. It's been fixed now, it's all good. It's just, I didn't want to have that during this part of the season. Other things I don't like about it is it's really difficult to change the cartridges. So in order to change the cartridges on this, there's 2 screws on either side of the cartridge, and then there's 4 on the side of this. Now some people have cut this away down here on this plastic to make it easier to get access to the sprockets in here and all the drive gears. But basically this is a bit of a nightmare to get this cover off. And if you're wanting to do loads and loads of operations, it can be a bit of a challenge. You learn to have patience when you have one of these units, but they're, as I said, it's a good workhorse if you really want to get into gardening. On the other hand, this guy here, so we talked about that being a C-class. This is like a Rolls Royce in comparison. This is some piece of kit. When this was new, I think this was about, we've got a Scarifier cartridge, a 10-blade cartridge, and a 6-blade cartridge. When my dad got that new about 20 years ago, I think it was about 12, 13, 1400 pounds, something like that. Quite a lot of money in the UK. Maybe today's money, that could be closer to 2,000, something like that, with inflation. This, on the other hand, the mower itself and nothing else, no battery or anything like that, it doesn't come with a battery. The standard mower price, this is 20-inch, it was nearly £4,000, £4,000, so nearly double that in today's money. So a lot of money, but if you look after this, it's going to keep you going for a long time to come. It's a lot easier to maintain because it's got the battery drive system. It's got 2 motors, one to drive the cylinder in the centre and one to drive the roller at the back. The roller is a split roller. It's got a nice differential in it to make it easier to move it around in the garden. It's got the ability to move it around without power, which is another bonus. And I decided, rather than buying the battery from Allet themselves, I bought this battery here from Ego in the UK, the distributor in the UK. This is a 12 amp hour battery. This alone's about £500 for one of these, but in terms of the type of cultivations I'll be doing to the grass, you really need a reasonably juicy battery to help you with using some of these cartridges that I've got down here at the front. So this, I cut the lawn yesterday with this lawnmower with the 6-blade cartridge, which is this one here, and the battery never went off of 5 bars. It's still 5 bars here on the front. So it's a really, really good bit of kit. Look after your batteries, store them well, put them in the chargers, take them out the chargers when you're not using them. Make sure you store them in a reasonably dry and not a cold place, and you'll get long use out your batteries. So this bad boy here allows you to cut a much wider range than this. On this device, on the side here, there's a little kind of turning unit at the side here that's got like an S, a 1, 2, 3 and a 4, and with those ones there, you have to go on a website and find out what those 1, 2, 3, and 4 mean. But basically it roughly cuts on this between sort of like comfortably on the bladed side of things, probably about 10 mil to 35 mil, something like that. And then it scarifies, it goes down to a cultivation level where it will take more out of the lawn as you're getting down into the soil. So this still does cultivations, it'll still work fine, but it's just a bit of a pain, if I'm being honest, over the long term, to use it if you're switching back and forward between cartridges, and also switching back and forward between heights. So this one on the other side, this has got what's called height right. So this is this dial at the side here, and this dial here allows me to go from pretty much 0, but it's not 0, it's with the 6-bladed cartridge you can cut down to, I think it's 5 millimeters, and it will go as high as 50 millimeters, so it gives you a lot of range when you start to come in to cut your grass, if this is the only lawnmower that you have. Some of the pros out there use rotary lawnmowers to take the top growth off and then use one of these to get you that definition. I call this as a high definition, ultra high definition lawnmower, whereas a rotary is more like an HD. So the rotary will give you the sort of an introduction into lawn care, whereas this is your Rolls Royce. This is going to step your lawn up to the next level. So good height system. It's battery driven, based on the Ego battery system. And then down the front I've converted the roller kit to a grooved roller. So if I take the Verticutter grooming cartridge out the way, you'll see the grooved roller here, and that helps you to stop the front solid roller from laying the grass down too much before it gets to the comb and the cutting side. So this one here allows more of the grass profile to stand up as it's combing through and get cut in by the cylinder. And this cylinder blade, if you think about it, it's like it's a guillotining action, so it's chopping the blades of the grass. And when I did the cut yesterday, I was flabbergasted because that blade is so much sharper than the other one, and the grass blades were perfectly cut across the top. Amazing, really, to be honest. So this is great, and I've got the cartridges in front here. So what you can see down here is we've got the 6-blade cartridge, nice and sharp. It's got a very thick bottom blade, and then the 2 cultivation cartridges that I went for at the start. I'll probably get some more as I can afford it. This one is the grooming cartridge. I don't really like that word, to be honest, but the connotations of that word. So I'm just going to call this the multi-verticutter. This is got many more blades in it, and what this does is this chops through the grass and cuts the side shoots off the grass, and it also helps stand the grass up so that when you switch back to the standard 6-bladed cartridge, that it will help to slice those grass blades off cleaner. It also helps to promote a healthier sward, because grass naturally wants to kind of expand out to the sides, but you tend to find that in order to encourage new growth, that you want to have an ability to allow some room and allow some space for new growth to come through. So this can help you with that. It's part of the cultivation, and there's lots and lots of videos online about cultivations and how to look after your lawn. This one here is the scarifier. I don't really like to call it a scarifier, even though this is probably the naming convention everyone knows it as. This is a little rake. So I would call this more like a power rake, because a scarifier to me is the ones that are bladed, that really dig into the surface of the soil. This one just kind of combs through the grass and gently into the top of the soil, but it's not very good for going really down into a deep cultivation, what I would call a dethatching, getting down into the soil, getting into that thatch layer and pulling out the thatch. This is more about just down to the soil layer. If you want to go beyond the soil layer into the real thick stuff, then you need to start thinking about a dethatcher, and that's what I would classify as a true scarifier. Seems to have got quite windy here, sorry about that. So this is what I'm going to call my power rake. So this is power raking. This can help you with things like if you've got leaves on your lawn or debris or things like that, you can raise the height up, use this to power rake out any debris. So power rake, multi-verticutter with all these blades. They're really sharp. I didn't realise how sharp they were until I touched it yesterday. So very sharp. These are powered as well, so these will chew through the lawn. And it's an intensive cultivation in your grass profile, but it's really good for your grass. So we've got these two cartridges here. You get other cartridges, you get dethatching cartridges, you get aeration cartridges, not hollow tine aeration, but just kind of fingers that plug in and create holes in the surface by pushing the soil down. There's a brush, a power brush, etc. But these ones are the ones that I wanted to get right away because I'm going for Corsica this year. Corsica grass, which is the creeping variety, and I need the creeping variety to thin it out to help with new encouragement and growth. The other benefit of this is what I said before, is about switching out the cartridges. That takes me about maybe 5 to 10 minutes to switch out the cartridge in here, and this one it takes 15 to 20 seconds to change the cartridge out. So if I show you what that looks like, I've got the cartridge out just now, I'm going to put it back in. So basically I grab this, I put it in, just locate it where I need it to be, just check everything. There we go, that's it slotting in. Then you push this one here, you push this one here, and then you take this handle here and you push it down, and that's it. That's it in place. It's as quick as that. That's the first time I've done it on camera, so apologies for how long that might have taken. But it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, pull the cartridge out, put another one back in, 4, 5, and slide that handle down. It's ready to go again. Really good. The other thing is, it's nice about this, unlike that one, so we've come back over here. This is as high as this handle goes. Can't get it any higher than that. It's on the top setting I've got for this, which is still too low for me. I don't know, maybe 20 years ago people were shorter, I don't know, less tall. But I find if I use this a lot over the week, last year in particular, I was finding that this was giving me, again, hurting my back. And I was needing to take longer pauses between my cuts, maybe 2 days, etc. Whereas I needed sometimes to get out and really get that cut done. So this is too low for me. I just feel like you're always bending over like this and you're always just putting that pressure on your back. Whereas over here in this one, you've got variation. So you can press this handle and you can go up to a tall setting and go down to the next setting, or you can go down again to a lower setting. So you've got three options. I keep it in the middle. And then you've got a sliding telescopic control. So you can take these two clamps to the side and you've got enough variation in there to go nice and low if you need it, if you're smaller in height, or if you want to come up to a particular height. For me, this seems to be the happy medium, which is about here, and that's taller than that one. So I'm no longer bending over, I'm standing upright. I've got a nice thing, and my neighbour's just turned on his amazing sounding motorbike, so I'm sure he'll be on his way soon. So really easy to get going. So I'll get the grass box. This is the grass box, much better. This is the grass box for the old one, which is here. It's really difficult, so look at the difference. This one is a nice hard unit. It's quite heavy, it's about 3.5 kilos, something like that, 3 kilos. And then when you're emptying it, there's a big rim around here, which is a nightmare for getting the grass out because it sticks to the edges. So you're always kind of having to kind of do it and shugle it in all these different directions. The new one, it's a much bigger throat, no lips. It's lighter, it's meshed, so that when you're going through, the air can move through the mesh, and that helps the grass stick to the back of the back of this box, which makes it allow you to pick up quite a lot of grass. And when you come to empty it, you literally just put it straight in the bin and tip over, and away it goes. So it's really, really good. And it's dead easy to attach it, because all we do is just come on to the machine and just slide it into the 2 clips, and that's how it looks there. In terms of putting the battery in, very straightforward. If you know Ego batteries, very easy. Just go down here, slide it in, push it in, ready to go. And the lawnmower is as simple as, you don't have to kind of yank it like this one. You're like yanking it, or especially at the start of the season, the keyed start doesn't do well at the start of the season. You really need to get the lawnmower to spin over and do that. And if you're doing the crank start, which is here, and you're yanking it, you could be there for 10 minutes trying to get the thing to start. So I use Aspen fuel in this, not traditional petrol. Aspen fuel's quite a lot more expensive, but it's really good quality fuel, and it's great for the lawnmower. 5 litres is like 25 quid, so it's really expensive. And I was using one of them per month, every month last year, so it was a lot of money to run it. So once you've got it started, the keyed start's good, because that just kind of helps it to turn over. But in this one, as soon as you put that battery in, you're ready to go. And literally it's as simple as pulling the lawnmower back, pressing the on button, and that's you going. That's the lawnmower spun up, and then there's 2 buttons in the back that allow you to drive it. And if we do that just now, just as a wee demonstration, put it down and then press, and away you go, like this. It's such a good machine. Easy to turn, even though it's nearly 60 kilos in weight. And just drive it back and forward. It needs a tweak in terms of its capability. Probably needs a wee tweak in terms of where the blade is at the moment, just to the bottom knife, so it doesn't make as much noise. But that's just part and parcel of what you do when you get a new lawnmower. So really, really good. That was on slow speed. You can turn it up by rotating this handle forward, and that then spins the motor up and makes the roller move faster. So slower speeds are great for these kind of cartridges, your cultivations. There's my neighbour going just now. I'll let him pass. It's a beautiful Harley Davidson he's got, so absolutely stunning. So that'll be him on his way. Listen to that, fantastic. Much better than this sounding thing, but yeah, all joking aside. So really, really straightforward, great for your back, great for movement, easy to power, easy to maintain. It's an electric motor at the end of the day, so it's really, really easy to look after, and it's relatively easy to transport, albeit it's quite heavy as a unit. So in the way it is at the moment, it's approaching 60 kilograms. So, but if you can see this just one-handed operation, I can literally pull that backwards. There's no worry. I can spin it around a lot easier. It doesn't scuff my grass. So really, really straightforward to manoeuvre it as you require. You only need about 3 kilos of force to move that, so it's really good. And the quality of the cuts, even I've only cut it yesterday, I've already got some cut out of it, and the grass blades are like a guillotine action. They're so fine. So yeah, it works really, really well. So that's my journey from this lawnmower, 20-year-old, to this lawnmower, a day old, in terms of my usage of it. So I'm looking forward to the summertime and what this can offer me as an amateur hobbyist, and lawn care across the board. So the other thing that I've invested in this year is with this one here. So this is an Ego, again, Ego for the batteries here to power the Stirling, and then Ego for the Strimmer. So this is an Ego Strimmer. It's got a really good capability in it. So you've got the power loading head, so you can feed your new strimmer line in there, and you press this button here and it feeds the line into the head, so you don't need to manually do that yourself. and then it's got the technology called Line IQ in it. So Line IQ basically auto feeds the line out when required, to keep you going, so you don't need to stop or use a bump head action to get new feed to come out. So it's really good. The other thing that I've invested in is this thing here. I don't think I've really seen many people using this, but again, I'm doing it for my purposes of looking after my back. So this is a little backpack, and this backpack you can buy from Ego. It's about £179 to buy this. But in essence, what this allows you to do is move the power from the unit here on the strimmer into the backpack, so that your back and your shoulders are taking that weight, and then the rest of the time that just gives you a lot more freedom to do things. So if I stand this up, you'll see I've got a sort of connection point here, and that connection point allows me to get through it, and get the weight away from my arms and then onto my back. So if I was to do this and put it on, you'll see if I can put this on hands free, because now I've got the head on here, and then what I can do is, that's me now. So this is now a lot lighter than putting a 5 or a 7.5 amp hour battery onto the rear of this. So that means I can hold it really comfortably. I can use this for hours on end. There is a strap that you can get for it, which you can put over here and tie in, which is nice. But it just allows me to get what I need, and I can trim the edge of the lawn. I can trim tall grass. I can't get up close to with the lawnmower, and I can easily turn the strimmer around, and then I can do this kind of operation for edging. And it's really comfortable to use. It's not an uncomfortable strimmer to use, and it looks quite good as well. Looks kind of futuristic. Feels like a bit like you're a Ghostbuster or something for the grass. So it's really good. Kind of boyhood type stuff that you do. You know, I think many kids out there my age probably recognise the Ghostbusters and all the fun stuff that they did with, like, you could go to the shops and get like backpacks that made you look like a Ghostbuster. So this is Ghostbusters for lawn care. So this is just a selection and an example of what I've done this year and the investments. So a lot of money, to be honest, and you know, I feel quite privileged to be able to afford to have something like this. You know, going from where I am today, I'm very privileged to have a device like this, and it'll be a family heirloom, I think, for a generation to come if I look after it well. I will look after it. I haven't showed you some of the other stuff, but I'll do some videos to follow up on that. But in essence, I've got a new fertilising range as well. So I've got a rotary spreader from the Handy company in the UK, it's a salt spreader, but it does other types of spreading. But it's pneumatic wheels, and it's got deflection kind of sides to it that keep the seed or your fertilizer from staying in the grass and not going kind of around onto stones and everything. So I'll show a video of that when I get around to assembling that in a couple of weeks. I've got a new 4-way trolley, so it's a 4-wheel trolley, because we have a wheelbarrow just now, and it's all about maintaining my back and looking after my back. So rather than having to rely on that, we're going for a four-wheeled trolley again from the Handy company. I'll put links to all these in the description so that you can have a look for yourself. I'm not paid to say nice things about these companies. I buy the products based on what I feel is, what I'm happy with in the research I've done, and I have to say their products are really good quality. So I've got the roller from them, I've got the 4-wheel cart from them, which is a tipping cart, so you can tip it out, and I've also got the rotary spreader, and then I've got from Garden Imports UK, which is another good company. I've got one of their guys as one of my subscribers, so big shout out and thanks to those guys. Again, I bought everything with my own money. There's no, I'm not getting paid to say nice things, but they're really good companies. Check them out. They're really helpful, great staff, etc. So from them I got the handy, no I didn't, sorry. I got the handy roller from Screwfix, I think it was, which is a company in the UK, and I got the Landsy lawn loot from them, and I got the Landsy compost spreader from them to make sure that the compost goes over evenly across the garden, again making it simple and straightforward. And lastly, just about to purchase a battery powered backpack sprayer. Now the natural thing would be to get it from these guys, from Ego, but it's not, I haven't been able to source it. I think there's a long lead time on them at the moment. I think it's later in the year, so I just can't wait that long. So I'm going to go for a Flowzone Typhoon 3 backpack sprayer, battery backpack sprayer, and that's going to do all my feeding regime for the garden. So feeding the plants, feeding the lawn, making that a little bit easier. You end up with Popeye arms when you're using a manual pump backpack sprayer. Certainly felt like my biceps were overworked last year for sure. Need it anyway for getting rid of this. But basically I'm going to use the old backpack sprayer for fertiliser. It's a steel backpack sprayer manual pump, and that's going to be fine for weed killing and spraying weed killer where appropriate throughout the year. And that's it really. So with a combination of all of those tools and items, the garden should look $1,000,000 this year, and I'm going to work really hard to show you the process and the journey that I'm doing to get to there. I'll take you around the front just before this video finishes to show you the progress and where I've got to, and I hope this video is a long rabbit about what I'm doing here, but this is the tools that I'm using for 2025 to help me on my journey. And yes, they are specific to lawns and all the things around the lawn and making that lawn look the best it can possibly be, but the flowers and the garden's going to look good because we're putting a new flower bed in around the front. We're going to be putting dahlias and lupins and roses and lovely shrubs and pirises and everything like that to really transform this garden into something. We're already on the way. So we've got lovely shrubs over here that are starting to come into their own. We've got a lovely cherry blossom tree. I planted this 2 years ago, and this is the first year it's actually blossomed, which is really nice. I'm super happy about that, to get some colour in at the early part of the year. And the shrubs have already started growing, so I've got shrubs all around the garden and they're already growing. The only thing that's slightly annoying me is the sycamore tree that's over here in another neighbour's garden has basically permeated the grass and permeated the around the garden with all of its little seeds, and they've all flourished. So a wee bit of maintenance work to do to stay on top of that and keep on top of the weeds this year, try and be better than I was last year. So hopefully you like what you see. If you get any comments, you like this kind of video talking about tools and how you can do it, I'll have some more videos. I'll show you them when I get to doing the lawn levelling and all that kind of stuff, what I'm going to be using, as I've talked about the Landsy stuff. Then I'll talk about the Typhoon and everything like that, my take on that. And then if you've got any questions you want to ask, please ask away. If you want to learn about anything or why I chose to do this, how I got into gardening, drop me a comment. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you like the content and you like just watching someone else do something in their garden, someone who was never a gardener, 10 years ago I would never even have thought of doing gardening. I'm a techie guy. I like technology and all that kind of stuff, but this is really good fun. So hopefully the wind isn't too windy at the moment. Just wish it would calm down a wee bit. So if you like what you see, guys, please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out. Helps me be able to do things and know that it's relevant. So here we go. This is what this looks like so far. So we've got, as you can see, the lawn is pretty much dead. It is looking decidedly crispy. So again, another neighbour, we're all bite fanatics around here. So you can see this was sprayed 2 weeks ago with Roundup Ultra, and for a week it didn't do anything, and then over the last week or so it's turned this colour. I put a short up about this yesterday, called it Scorched Earth. It really is. It's pretty horrendous, but this was covered in horrible looking weed grasses and everything. These are lovely box hedges. These haven't been touched at all. I was very careful not to spray these, because these on their own are probably 250 quid each or something. They were babies when we bought them, but they're now grown out. So basically what's going to happen here is there's going to be a new flower bed here, tiered down with wood, and then over here on this side I'm basically going to be bringing a lawn along here, all the way along and over to that side as well. So it's going to look really, really good overall. And then this is going to be a new flower bed here. This has all been killed with a Roundup. It's all crispy now and died away, which is nice. And then this lawn over here as well, which is looking decidedly disgusting. But we all have to start somewhere again, so this has been killed off as well. As you can see, there's a wee bit of green over in the back corner here that's come through, but that's just grass that was below the soil before this was all sprayed down. So this is pretty much dead. So this is going to get scarified with a dethatching blade to tear into the soil, and then this is going to then give us what we need. That's one of my neighbours away in his bike. So I'll let him shoot off. That's him away. So yeah, I'm standing on this grass and it's crunchy underfoot, and you can tell it's dead because there's a bunch of flies flying over it as well. So trying to pick up the dead matter and debris. So we've got some nice flowers over here. Again, these are surviving well. So we've got crocosmia coming through here, gives you a lovely nice flower, and then this is salvia hot lips here, and then we've got a pyrus, and then over on this bit here we're going to be putting in a new flower bed there that's going to be lupins and dahlias, etc. So this one's going to get cut away in the next week to 10 days, and then this will be then reseeded with the mix I talked about earlier on, and this should look as good as the back in 2 or 3 months' time, which I'll catalogue the journey, and hopefully you'll be able to see that one as it's coming through. But you can see here it's pretty awful. Being honest, always has to look bad before it looks good. And then I've got a nice flower bed here at the back, which is a combination of things in here as well, which is nice. So we've got some nice shrubs here, and we're probably going to move this guy here, and he's going to probably go into this space here. I created a new flower bed here. There used to be grass and turf here, but it was pretty much dead because of the sheltering of this fence. So yeah, that's what it looks like across the garden, and it looks really nice today because it's a sunny day. But yeah, grass not looking great, but we'll get there again. But thanks again for joining me today and listening to me rabbit on, and I'll get this video up onto the site, and if you like what you see, please drop me a like, drop me a comment, and subscribe to the channel, and join me on this journey, guys. Alright, have a nice one. Catch you then again. Cheers. Bye.